So in today's lesson, we're going to add some topic 2 vocab to your notebook. We're going to review how to graph on the coordinate plane, and then you're going to graph some tables in order to start seeing a pattern between why some relationships are proportional versus some are not. So please, first of all, add these 3 lines to your notebook. You're going to be adding topic 2 vocab on page 16, the graphing on the coordinate plane review sheet on page 17, and page 18 will be the proportional versus non-proportional tables and graphs. So on page 16 of your notebook, please add the vocab. You can just fold it in half and glue them in like you did your previous vocab words. We will not be filling in missing values for these today. So because of my love of giraffes, I had to include this giraffe. So on page 17 of the notebook, we're going to add the coordinate plane review sheet. So at the top here, we have our x and y coordinates alphabetically. X comes first, then y. Our x value, which is whatever number is listed first, is going to tell us whether we move left to right. And our y value is going to tell us whether, or I should say how much we move up or down. The weather would be if it's a 0. 0 would mean we don't go up or down. 0 here would mean we don't go left or right. But otherwise, the number is going to tell us which way to go. So left being negative, right being positive, up being positive, down being negative. So over here, I would like you to write in an x. Our negative 4.5 is the x value. It's telling us we're going to go 4.5 units left, and 3 is the y value, and it's telling us to go up 3. So we always start at the origin. The origin is our 0, 0 point right here, 0 on the x and 0 on the y. And for number 1, we are graphing A, which has already been done for us, but just to show you how it happened, we start at 0, we count over 1, 2, 3, 4 full squares, and then half a square. That's 4.5 negative. And then we're going to go from there. Sorry, it keeps disappearing. Up 1, 2, 3. You put a dot right there, and that is A. So A would be right there. Now B is at 0, negative 6. Please pause the video and try graphing it. Okay, so the 0 tells us we stay. So we go back to the origin. We don't go left or right. 0 says don't move anywhere. And the negative 6 would be down to negative 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative, and that's where B would show up. The next ordered pair to try is negative 5, comma, negative 2.5. Please pause the video and try it. So that one would be there. We go left negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 2.5. The next one will be 3, comma 0. Then number 5 will be 5.5, comma negative 4. And number 6 will be 1.5, comma 6.5. Pause the video, please, and try to graph those 3 before you see where they go. So for number 4, we start at 0. 3 tells us to go right 3. 1, 2, 3. And then right here, we don't go anywhere up or down. 0 here tells us to stay. And so that's where letter D will be. Then E, we start at 0, 0. We're going 5.5 right. So 5.5. And then negative 4 tells us to go down 4 full squares. And the point will be right there. E. So we go back to 0, 0. Then F is telling us to go 1.5, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 will put us right in the center of the square, and that is F. Now, this is our note sheet for page 18 in the notebook. This is the front cover. We're going to flip to the inside top left with the table here. So now we're not using any negatives because our proportional relationships will just be in quadrant 1. So we'll be graphing 1, comma 3. So this tells us to go right 1, up 3. So right 1, up 3, and you put a dot. Then this one is 2, comma 6. So right 2, up 6. 3, comma 9, right 3, up 9, and 4, comma 12, right 4, up 12. I would like you to use a ruler or some type of straight edge to connect these ordered pairs and make sure you extend them so they go all the way until they touch the grid. And then now we need to finish the table. The last part of the table is our ratio of y over x in simplest form. So y over x in this case is 3 over 1, and that's already simplified. This one is going to be 6 over 2, and then we can simplify this by dividing by 2, and it will become 3 over 1. Here we're going to have 9/3. Divide by 3, we get 3 over 1, and 4 over 12, 12 over 4, excuse me, divided by 4. Not sure why that got cut off, but that is supposed to be a 12, and it will become 3 over 1. So this is a proportional relationship. There's something that happens in the table whenever we have a proportional relationship, and there's something that happens with the graph when it's proportional. So you want to be looking for patterns while you're doing this. Okay, we're on to example 2. Go ahead and try to graph these ordered pairs before you see how to do them over here. So push pause. So the first ordered pair is 4, 2, right 4, up 2. Then we've got 8, 4, right 8, up 4. We have 10 to the right and then 5 up. And then we have 2, 1, so we go 2 to the right and up 1. Use a straight edge or ruler to connect them and extend until you do touch the axes over here. Axes is the plural for axis. So we have x-axis, y-axis, and this is the axes. So now we're going to do our ratio. It's y over x, so 2 over 4. This can be simplified by 2, and we get 1/2. Then we're going to have 4 over 8. This can be divided by 4 to be simplified to 1/2. We have 5 over 10. Oh, not sure why that's getting cut off either. That's a 5/10. Divide by 5, and you get 1/2. And then 1/2 is already simplified, so we can stop there. And once again, these are both proportional graph, and a proportional table. So think about what you think the pattern is that you've seen that is the same, like the same thing is happening in example 1 and example 2. So now we're on to example 3. Please graph the ordered pairs and try to do your XY values before you continue watching the video. So push pause. So here we have 2 to the right, 3 up. Then we have 4 to the right, 6 up. 6 to the right, 9 up. And 8 to the right and 12 up. Use a straight edge, connect so that you can see what happens. There's something that's happening in all of the proportional graphs. And then for our ratio, we have y over x. That one can't be simplified any further. Here we have y over x. This one can be divided by 2 and simplifies to 3/2. 9 over 6 can be divided by 3 to get 3/2. And 12 over 8 can be divided by 4 to get 3/2. So now we're going to be on to our non-proportional side. So you want to see while you're doing these, what is true about all the proportional tables and graphs, but what doesn't happen when it's not proportional. So push pause, go ahead and graph and then do your table and see if you can notice the pattern before you watch the video. So this one is 1 to the left, 3 up. Then we have 2. Oh, I think I just said 1 to the left. Sorry. 1 to the right, 3 up. 2 to the right, 4 up. 3 over and then 5 up, 4 to the right and 6 up. You're going to connect them until they touch the axes, so you can see that this is a straight line. Then we have our ratio, 3 over 1. This one is 4 over 2, which can be simplified to 2 over 1. Then we're going to have 5/3, and then 6 over 4 can be simplified to 3/2. So look at the tables on the left of your notes, and then look at this table and see how a non-proportional table compares to a proportional table. So example 5, we're going to graph this one. Please try it. Do your values over here and see what happens with the graph. So we're going to have 2 to the right, 2 up, 3 to the right, 3 up, 4 to the right, 7 up, and then 8 to the right, 8 up. And I want you to connect each of these dots with a straight line. So these connect and we extend to the graph. Here they connect, and then we'll extend this one out. So you can see how this graph is very different from the proportional graphs on the left. Our ratios, 2 over 2 becomes 1 over 1. 3 over 3 becomes 1 over 1. 7 over 4 doesn't simplify, so it stays 7/4. 8 over 8 becomes 1 over 1. So this 1 point here that's different from all the others causes the graph to not be straight. And our last example in the notes, please graph it and do your your y over x, ratios, and then watch the video. So we should have 2 comma 6, 4 comma 7, 6 comma 8, and 8 comma 9. And once again, these will form a straight line, and if they are connected with a straight line, they'll extend to hit the axes right here at 0 comma 5. So if we do our ratios, this one simplifies to 3 over 1. This one is as far as you can go. This one simplifies to 4/3, and this one is as simple as you can go. So once again, it is a straight line as a graph, but these ratios are very different. So the whole point of this lesson is for you to think about, what do proportional tables have versus non-proportional tables, and then what do the graphs of proportional relationships look like versus the non-proportional examples. Now, the homework that you'll be given to just practice your graphing will either be the coordinate art, oh despicable me, or the coordinate art, I can't see my forehead. So key things for this homework: use pencil, add labels to your axes. So for example, this is the origin. You're going to want to write in a minimum of 5, 10, 15, 20, and this is the x-axis. And then we'll have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then here, just labeling -5, -10, -15, -20, and -5, -10, -15, -20, and -25. That will help with your ordered pairs. And then how you'll start this is you'll graph the point. So -10, -5, -10, and then up 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. A dot will go here. And then the next one, -10, -11, -10, -11 being down here, 5, 10, -11. So this dot here, that will be here, and the one that you drew up here need to be connected with a straight line and a ruler. So you'll connect these in the order until you get to the last one in the shape, and then that will mean it's the end of that shape. Actually, I think this continues. This is still shape 1. Then it says close. That means the shape should be closed. And then you'll start shape 2, shape 3, and shape 4. If you have any questions, please ask your teacher. Otherwise, that's the end of this lesson.